Alright, Burris Arms here. We're about to put the AK back together. First things first, we need to make sure that you have gloves on and get some CLP. And we're going to completely lube up every one of the parts, not only for the function of the firearm once it's together, but the moly resin actually sets in better once you apply a healthy dose of CLP throughout all the parts that you have applied moly resin on. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and start building the firearm. First things first, let's go ahead and apply the trigger system back in there. Just like so. Alright, remember just like this. So it went in there. Bingo. Alright. Got the first pin in. Alright, here's the next pin that's going to go in there. First things first, make sure this pin stays in here. It was hell trying to get it in there. You're going to, with the screwdriver, pry these little springs out of there, of each one. Just like so. Okay. You're going to inset the trigger down in there. Just like that. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to, on either side, pull up and around on it. I think this is probably our best hook. You got to set in the hammer. And remember how, if you don't know how it was supposed to be set, if you look inside of here, the way it's facing, you can see the smooth rounded part is towards the back, where it actually locks into the trigger itself down here. And then you have the spring go over the backside to the spring will propel the hammer forward. So just remember to do that. You're going to lock it in with the pin. Remember, it looks exactly like this. You're going to go from left to right down in there. And then next what you're going to do, I used a little hook pick. You're going to drop the trigger in there, and each of these springs down here, you're going to hook it and pull it and put it on top of the spring set right here on both sides. And it'll set in there nicely to where you can feel the trigger. You haven't put in the actual pin yet for the trigger, but what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and lock. This is the lock basically that ensures that the pins stay where they should, because they hook up inside of here. I'll show you in just a second. What we're doing with this first one is we're hooking in where the hammer pin is, and when you do that, you're basically setting it in to where it locks this pin to where it can't come out. And same thing on this other side. Once we put it in, it's going to lock down and put pressure on this pin to where it can't go in or out. So that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to go ahead and set this pin in here, left to right. You heard it snap in place, and now all we need to do is push down on this lock, and then that way once we put the safety in, so we'll go ahead and do that now. Remember, you start at a 90-degree angle from the frame itself inside of there, and you can see that locking pin, it's a little bit above it. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to go in there and line it up to where it'll lock into place with the second one. Just a second. Alright. And then you fish it down into the hole. There we go. Now as you start to pry it back down, remember I told you, you got to squeeze that trigger to make sure it stays out of play with the rest of them until you get it in the locking position. So then from there you're good to go. Alright, well, we got that in place. Next thing what we're going to do, let's go ahead and okay, we're going to see how this buttstock fits in here, and how we're going to do that is we're going to slide this on here just like so to make sure it's locked into place. I want it to go all the way in. Now what we're going to do we're going to go ahead and pin out where we're going to basically screw. Okay. We're going to use this drill bit that was given to us with the buttstock. When you purchase it, and it comes with these two little screws. Alright, something to make sure when you're screwing this, look how tiny these screws are. You don't have to go very far into the plastic, and make sure you're centered before you start. Okay. Alright, we drilled out the buttstock, and we applied the screws to hold it tight. Feels pretty sturdy. Next thing that we're going to do, let's go ahead and the pistol grip. So we're going to slide this into place down there. When you come down, it should come down at this angle, coming down to where it'll line up with the trigger. Go ahead and put pressure on it from the inside. Okay. Alright, when you're doing it, go ahead and have your screwdriver and your screw already started up in there. And that way, once you go, try to slide this in place, it'll automatically line up and you can start screwing them down. Let's go ahead and assemble the handguard. Let's see about that. Now, I've heard for the WASR 1063 to go ahead and use these spacers that come with it. And remember, this is the UTG, I believe, handguard system. And let's go ahead and unscrew these real fast so we can separate the upper and lower quad rail. Hey, Burris Arms here. Sorry you missed the complete build. I didn't realize the camera had shut off in the middle of the build, so I went ahead and finished it, and I was just going to show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so just to reiterate what we've done. This is the Tapco buttstock that we've installed in there, and then we had to drill it in on two different drill points, anchor points. One's in here, one's just underneath the spring that controls the tension on the bolt. We also installed the hoe grip. We did a full moly resin on here, make it look brand new. And we also changed out the muzzle brake on the slant to be for left-handed. And I'll show that real quick on how to do that. Right there is a spring, and all you do is you just push down all the way on it and be able to turn it and rotate it for the left and right-handed shooter. So it literally would take, just a couple of seconds to switch it out. Also, what we did is we installed the quad rail on here. I didn't have to do any type of drilling or adjustments or anything like that. It did take some work to get it on there, but as long as you work it right and get it in there. There's also just two spacers right here. They're super thin. I don't think I can get close enough. Two spacers right here that are super thin that actually help space it to where there's enough tension right here when you're lining it all up. Alright, that seems to be about it. Just one more look at how it came out.